You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Today on our Weight Loss Wednesday, we're going to be talking about a very popular, we'll call it a treatment protocol right now that a lot of people are using. I hear about a lot of my practice and I get quite a bit of questions on it, so I figured why not turn it into a whole episode? And the reason I'm bringing it to our Weight Loss Wednesday edition is because a lot of people are using it to lose weight. Now, I think this can actually be a very healthy overall protocol for anyone to do, especially once or twice a year, and yes, it will help with weight loss. But we want to look at it in terms of weight loss, that it's only helping with weight loss because what's happening is you're removing a lot of the excess sludge and constipation-based issues with the colon, and that it's more or less a very temporary fix. So this isn't a great long-term solution, but it can be excellent for 5 days or 7 days to do. And so what I'm talking about is called an intestinal cleanse. Now, I'm not going to get into colonics, and I'm not going to get into enemas or anything like that today. I'm simply going to talk about intestinal cleanses and cleanses in general where they're basically forcing your body to have about 3 bowel movements per day. And what these products do is they remove, let's say, all the different toxins and all the stool, the feces that are attached to the colon, mainly the colon, not just the small intestine. The colon is essentially a 6-foot tube that's the last part of your intestines that branches off of the small intestine. It's called the ileocecal valve that moves into the cecum, and that basically moves through the colon, out through your anus, and you have a bowel movement. So it's very simple, very straightforward. And what we're looking at is that food toxins can actually build up in the pockets of the intestines. Now, this has been proven, this has been shown over and over through not only autopsies and things like that, but also when people are doing specific cleanses or they're doing colonic, you can see things that are old food-based products and that have been built up. So what we're doing is essentially we're using products like senna, which is a type of laxative. We're using things like aloe. So we're using things that are going to speed up bowel transit time. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use other items, very natural items if you use a good product, that are going to, basically it's called activated charcoal and bentonite clay. Now when you use those two main products, those two products have the ability to literally remove poisons and pull toxins right off the intestines. They have what's called ionic magnet-based properties, and when you have those types of properties with a particular natural substance, they can cling to and pull certain items right off of your intestines, which is great. So we use charcoal in conventional medicine. You use that whenever you've been poisoned or whenever you've swallowed something harmful. You can take charcoal, and that will help you to bind and eliminate that poison right from your intestines. So again, these things are very science-based, very proven. The problem is a lot of people are buying these cleanses right off of Amazon or very suspect sites. Now, keep in mind that all nutritional supplements off of Amazon, for the most part, should be considered suspect. Unless you know the manufacturer, unless they're reputable, you're most likely getting a product that was very, very cheaply done, that was used by a marketer who's just trying to sell supplements. They don't know anything about nutrition in the first place. They're just looking at competing products. Those products are doing well, so they're going to knock off that product, use even cheaper products, and then sell it for $10 or $20. Those types of things don't have a lot of great nutrients in them. It's simply not possible because the product would cost more than that to make, so you can't sell a product for less than it costs to make. It doesn't, obviously you'd be losing money month after month, and people aren't going to do that. So you have to find a reputable source. You have to find a good product. Of course, that should go without saying whenever you're putting something in your body, but I did want to just make note of that. A few products that I do recommend are the Dr. Schultz products, and I also recommend the orthomolecular probiotic called, well, it has Saccharomyces boulardii in it. So let's talk about why those are important, why I like those. Well, so with this particular type of intestinal cleanse, intestines, what you're doing is you're using a laxative-based product, capsules. You just take 2, 3, or 4 caps at night. You only start off with 2, and the reason you just start off with 2 caps is so that the next day you want to gauge how many bowel movements you do have. And again, they're going to be a little looser. So you're going to probably wake up and maybe have 1 bowel movement, and then maybe after lunch and maybe mid-afternoon or so. But you do want to have 3 bowel movements per day. You don't want to be running to the bathroom. Then if that's the case, you want to cut back on a capsule that next night. Now, if you only have 1 or 2 bowel movements, you want to increase to 3 capsules that next night. And we give you all this different information, a very simple little infographic. Again, these are products that we do like. We just want to make it easier for people to use. And we found our particular method of using them is very, very effective. Now, after that, you do that for just 2 nights. Very simple. You don't do anything different during the day. And then for days 3 through 7, and it doesn't have to be all 5 days, but it's great to do it that way, you're simply going to have this powdered shake in between meals, right when you wake up, before lunch, before dinner, and then before bed. You do it 4 times a day. That's how we do it. And that's the activated charcoal and the bentonite clay. And what this does, you can just drink it down quick. That's what's going to pull the substances off the intestines. Now, you should do it how we recommend, which is away from food, because you don't want to mix this stuff with food because it will bind up all the great nutrients in your food. So again, very simple how we do it, which is a couple hours after each meal or right when you wake up or right before bed. And this is what's going to really help you remove everything, again, from, this isn't a pure parasite cleanse, but it can remove a lot of bacteria from the gut as well. So I like it for that too. And then with the probiotic, very, very simple, very straightforward. You want to use the Saccharomyces boulardii, which is in the probiotic, to help remove candida, help remove some yeast. Again, not a full yeast protocol, but very, very effective. And also you want those good probiotics, that good bacteria from these particular strains, to then come right back in the intestines, replenish maybe what was pulled, some of the stuff that was pulled out, and you have a nice, good functioning gut. So what are some of the benefits of this overall? Well, a lot of people feel, of course, less bloated, less digestive-based issues. They're absorbing less toxins. A lot of people have better mind clarity, less brain fog. You're dealing with able to pull out some heavy metals like mercury, of course. Any different PCBs, plasticizers or plastics from the environment that might still be in the intestines. Great for women who have higher estrogen levels or estrogen dominance. Can even be used for fertility because you're trying to pull out that excess estrogen and try to balance that with progesterone. And then, there's many other benefits beyond that. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to just remove all of the excess stuff from the intestines once a year, twice a year, whatever it might be. Not using this all the time, of course. You shouldn't use this as a laxative all the time. If you have constipation-based issues, well, you want to figure out what those constipation issues are and not simply rely on laxatives. That's not the case at all. That shouldn't be used like that. But one thing I like to talk about with this too is that your body really only is what it absorbs. It's not what you eat. Yes, what you eat is very important, but it's also what you absorb. And if you don't have the proper bowel motility, which means the proper speed that food moves through, and the proper digestion, you're not going to be able to absorb all these great nutrients and minerals and vitamins and all those great things that our body extracts from food, many of which we don't even know. And so what we have to look at is your body's ability to also do its job. So what I'd recommend right now is you can simply see what we offer, and that's go to the StephenCabral.com/store, and you'll just see the intestinal cleanse that we have. And it's our way of just showing you these are reputable products. I vouch for them. I don't know Dr. Schultz. I don't personally know Orthomolecular, but I know their products. I know they're third-party tested. I know they do what they say, and I've used them in my practice, and I know they get great results, so I feel very comfortable recommending them to you. So do feel free. Ask me any questions you do have. You can simply go to StephenCabral.com/Ask Cabral. I'm happy to answer those for you. And if it's a particular customer service question as well, you can always just email us too at support@StephenCabral.com. We're here to help you with whatever health and weight loss and anti-aging based issues you have. We do want to help you reach those goals, so let us know how we can be of service. Thank you once again for tuning into another Cabral Concept.
Before you go, I wanted to share a personal story with you. The real reason I began to get well, finally, is because I figured out what was wrong with me. And that might seem pretty obvious, but I went from doctor to doctor for over 2 years before discovering at-home functional medicine lab testing. These are the labs that enabled me to finally figure out what was wrong with my hormones, blood sugar, electrolytes, and gut health. And once I knew what was wrong, I could then follow a proven plan in order to rebalance my body from the inside out. This is why I believe so strongly in functional medicine lab testing and why I've made it my mission to share these labs with the world. Now, at Equa.life, You can order an at-home lab test or lab bundle for you and your family and be able to complete it within the week. Plus, the equal life difference is that you're not left to try to read and figure out these labs on your own. We explain what your lab numbers mean, what they mean in the much bigger picture, and then how to go about rebalancing your body in order to heal. To see our full selection of lab tests or to set up a free lab selection call to find out what labs may be best for you, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. And do remember, we ship these all over the world. To find out more and to set up your free lab selection call, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. That's EQUI.LIFE/labs.